Yeah.
Hi, Leyla.
Hi, Angie.
I am so excited to finally meet you. It's
I'm
been
so excited
forever
to meet
and a
you.
day.
Really, it has.
And she has been talking and talking about it and saying, "Oh, we're gonna get to meet Leyla all week."
Yes.
It's such an honor.
I was even playing your music today.
Oh,
I
thank
gave
you.
you a shout out and I was playing some of your music earlier today. I believe we also played her on Wednesday for Whip It Out Wednesday. So we're definitely sharing you. Like, I love you so much.
Oh, thank you.
You have an amazing talent.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. It really does.
So when did you start doing music? Tell me more about you.
You know, I've always loved music. It's it was the first thing I could do. Like when I was 5, I was inspired actually by The Little Mermaid, Ariel, and I tried singing her songs so often, and you know, I sounded like a dying cat at first. It was my parents, every time I would sing, they'd be like, "Oh Lord, here she goes again." But I don't know, like I always loved it. I started writing my own songs when I was 8, and then from then on, I kind of unofficially, you know, I was in my own world whenever I would do music. And just last year, I think in April, I started BandLab, and that's when I started exploring, you know, and expanding my voice and everything. So,
Oh,
So
wow.
BandLab
You
was
started
definitely the
last
one that
April.
really got you.
Yep.
You have been busy.
I have been very
You've only been on
busy.
since April, and I've seen you. Yes, I've seen you all over the place on there.
I mean, it's the first time that I'm putting myself out there. The first time I ever decided to sing in front of anyone, or, I mean, a crowd, was my first talent show. That was school year 2019. I did it in my junior year. I sang my song, New Beginnings, on the ukulele. And that was the first time ever. Sadly, I didn't win, but it wasn't about that. Nobody really heard the lyrics, so I think that was the problem, because the acoustics in the gym were really bad. But it was my first time, you know.
Actually, if you got to sing in front of the crowd and get through that, then you did win.
Exactly.
Because that is a big win.
Crazy thing was, like, I was nervous at first when I was like sitting on the bleachers, but then when I got in front of it, I looked at all those people. I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm doing it, not you. So, you know, I gave myself a little bit of credit. I was like, you know, I got this, and I wasn't nervous anymore. I looked down at my ukulele and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And a lot of people cheered, so I was really proud.
When did you start playing the ukulele? At what age?
Actually, I started playing it 2 years ago. The only reason why I started playing it was because I wanted to perform that talent show, but I didn't know how to. Initially I wrote New Beginnings on the piano, but I didn't know that they had like a keyboard or anything for the talent show, and somebody else was using it already, so I had to find a way. And I asked my teacher at first if he could play for me, but he wanted to teach me instead, so he taught me how to play those 4 chords that I was using. And eventually from then I just like started playing on it on my own. My mom got me my own ukulele, and now I'm, you know, I can't get away from it. I'm so my fingers bleed, kind of.
And that's the beauty with the uke, is that they're very easy to pick up on. You know, they're designed to be expressful instruments where you just have to learn the chords, and
exactly.
it's much better for like, you know, vocal expression. It complements those who, you know, it's simpler than a guitar, but it still has the same kind of impact. Plus, it tends to be brighter and fun.
Yes,
it helps. I think it helps songwriters really like figure out their melodies and things when they're writing their songs. It's a great instrument for that.
It helped me find my voice, actually. Like when I was like, I feel like that. This might just be me and my spirituality and everything, but I feel like when I'm with the ukulele and I'm playing it, the vibrations of the music are like they're resonating with my voice, and I feel like I can find my tune or my tone, sorry, and everything. Like I find my voice.
There you go.
Thing. Like
Yes, that's how you find your voice.
Yeah.
You know, you feel that resonance from inside out.
Exactly.
Let me ask, with your songwriting, where do you get your inspirations from? Because you are an amazing writer.
Thank you. honestly, it's hard to say. Like, I love writing. Even if I'm not writing songs, I will be writing in general. Like, I guess you could say journalist. Like, I write whenever. Like, there was a time where nobody would listen to me, and I think I projected that in a lot of my songs. And instead of, talking to people, which mainly maybe was my problem, I wrote it in a diary. And so I read a lot too. I read a lot. So I kind of I pick up, I don't know, expressions, I guess, from books I've read, from songs I've heard. I have as my boyfriend likes to say, a mind of my own with a mind of its own.
That's
You're you.
Exactly. It flows.
And a lot of this is like thinking out loud. That
yeah, exactly.
When you're writing those emotions, it's like thinking out loud in sound.
Exactly. Yeah. And the songs, they write themselves. All I do is I sit there, I close my eyes, and I think of what I want to say to the world. What is it that I want other people to know? And sometimes there will be times where I'll feel like writing a happy song, maybe, or other times an inspirational song, or maybe I'm sitting there and I'm not having a good day, and I'll write a song
Sometimes those are the songs that end up being the best, most therapeutic for the writer, and the most popular to those who are like, oh, I'm having a bad day too, but now that I'm hearing the song, I'm feeling like it's a little better.
Yes, definitely. I think the biggest goal that I have with my music is to give whoever's listening that kind of lend some kind of sense of, maybe, I don't know, that you're not alone. Kind of, I know when I'm listening to music and I'll hear about somebody else dealing with depression or dealing with something that, I can resonate with, then I will feel at ease because I know that I'm not alone. And another goal that I have is I don't know if you guys have ever felt that, but maybe you have this thought in your mind and you're worried about everything that's going on maybe in your daily routine. And then this one song plays, and that one moment you're actually listening to the lyrics and you interpret it. Oh God, I can't talk today. Interpret them totally differently than you usually would. And it just feels like that song was meant to be somebody.
Oh,
yeah. That's what I want. I want at least one time my song to be able to do that for somebody where, it'll be playing somewhere or something and they'll just think what, that was meant to be. I know now what to do with myself, or I know that I can relax now, or something like that,
Definitely.
Oh, I think you're going to be doing that all the time to people with your songs.
Thank you.
That's the beauty of writing good songs and putting your heart into them is
Right.
People will feel it because others feel the same way. We talked about this in one of our other conversations in one of our interviews where, writing music is like finding other kindred souls sometimes. Sometimes that's why we do it, is to find others out there who are feeling the same way. And those who hear it and connect to it and say to you, I feel what you're saying in there, then you've got a kindred soul.
Right.
Not only that, your vocals seem to reach everyone.
Did you
ever have vocal lessons?
Never. Everything I do is self-taught.
Oh.
Natural
talent.
That's great.
Yeah. I said,
it's always good to learn to develop more, but you're a natural, so that's coming out naturally. The things that teaching will help you with is to teach you not to hurt your voice or damage it, because it is a really important muscle. So even those who are natural at it can damage it if they don't learn certain techniques and things and respect the muscle for what it is.
Right. Yeah, sing smarter, not harder.
Yeah. There you go.
Love it.
There you go. Good girl.
Yeah.
So you have learned something.
There was a time where my mom's friend for I think my 15th birthday gave me a book named Singing for Dummies. And I read into that. So, yeah.
They've got one of those books for everything. There's a dummy for everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me ask you about your song Toxic.
So that song, it was kind of like, you know how you have chapters in life where, you know, you have to not make another chapter, you have to close the whole book and just, you know, start a new one. And I was in a very rather toxic relationship that had changed me in many ways and not really for the better. And I projected that through the song Toxic. You know, I've written many songs for this person, whose name I won't disclose. However, it just, many of the songs went trending on Bandlab too. They were the songs that got the most attention because I poured my all into them. And when the relationship finally came to an end and I had finally found respect for myself because I had lost that during the relationship, I needed closure, and at that point I didn't know what else to do with myself other than put it in the song. And I kind of felt bad for releasing it because I knew that person would hear it, and everybody else who knew him too would, and it would kind of, you know, but it was a really heartfelt song for me. I don't know if you guys could tell that my voice was maybe shaking in it. I was singing really hard in it, and it took a few takes because I ended up crying a few times in it, and it, you know, that's all the process of like writing and recording a song.
You had to power through it.
Yep, and
that's kind of like what the relationship is. You had to power through it. I mean, for as much as you had to go through, finding yourself is a reward at the end of a very hard tunnel there.
Indeed, it really is. And I'm glad I got that off my shoulders, because if I would have held that in, if I wouldn't have maybe recorded it, I got a lot of love on that track, and I am so happy for that, because like sometimes I'll write a song that I'll really like try on, and then maybe people won't like react to it the way maybe I would have wanted them to. But on that song, I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna spill my guts out to the world, and you know, whatever. And that song, like it picked up quickly, and people were sharing it everywhere and like resonating to it, and I felt like empowered about it, because I told people like the things that they didn't know. Like they knew all about the rainbows and butterflies and everything about the relationship and all the good sides, because I posted about it a lot because we were a Bandlab couple, but it didn't go out the way it did. Yeah, so
well, you got 592 plays on that. And so you got lots of love.
Yes,
this song with your emotions, and I think the reason that it has been shared and played and loved by a lot is because you were able to paint that picture. You were able to go ahead and paint that picture and pour your emotions and you're all into it. You put you into it and you kept you real.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share that song Toxic right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, the audio is really bad on that one because I recorded it like in an open room with my piano, because I don't know how to use the online piano thing. So, yeah, good.
Well, I gotta tell you, I think this one's
when you want to learn
beautiful.
more on that, I'll help you.
Awesome, thank you.
Gave you heaven, you gave me hell. I wanted you to love me, 'cause I could love myself. But your accusations had me losing my breath. Your actions always left me bleeding. Always reminded you I loved you to death, but that never stopped you from leaving. You always found a new reason to let me go. You're blinded by the clouds of your cigarette smoke. I'm done. I'm done. You've hurt me in ways you will never know. Telling me to F myself and call me a hoe. I'm done. I'm done. breathe the troubles and the way to speak, you're toxic. And to think about all the hurtful things you've said, you're making me wish I was somebody else instead. I've let you have your way, but I won't let you change me. Let you have your way, but I won't let you change me. Oh, I loved you and you knew that too, but you always made it seem like I was lying. I was so goddamn good to you, but you made it seem like I was never trying. From 1,000 good things and one mistake by far, that one mistake was all it took for you to break my heart. To anyone but you, I'm nearly perfect. Hope that losing me for being right was worth it. You always found a new reason to let me go. You're blinded by the clouds of your cigarette smoke. I'm done. I'm done. You've hurt me in ways you will never know. Telling me to F myself and call me a hoe. I'm done. I'm done. You are what you drink. You are what you eat. You're toxic. You are what you breathe. The troubles and the words you speak. You're toxic. And to think about all the hurtful things you've said, you're making me wish I was somebody else instead. I've let you have your way, but I won't let you change me. Let you have your way, but I won't let you change me. Have you ever loved someone so much you never wanted them to leave? Even if it meant you would have to hold together all the pieces of the heart on your sleeve. We've already crossed the line, didn't think we'd fall apart from where we started. Cause it was us against the world, now it's our worlds against each other. For good. You always found a new reason to let me go. You're blinded by the clouds of your cigarette smoke. I'm done. I'm done. You've hurt me in ways you will never know. Telling me to F myself and call me a hoe. I'm done. I'm done. You are what you drink. You are what you eat. You're toxic. You are what you breathe. The troubles and the words you speak. You're toxic. And to think about all the hurtful things you've said, you're making me wish I was somebody else instead. I've let you have your way, but I won't let you change me. Let you have your way, but I won't let you change me.
Absolutely gorgeous. That line in the chorus, you are what you eat, you are what you drink.
So as maybe you can tell or not, I have acne. And my mom would always tell me, she would say, you are what you eat, and I eat a lot of trash. So my mom would tell me the reason you have acne is because your intestines are not good. Okay, high five. Yeah, she said about that. And cigarette smoke and alcohol and everything is very toxic. And since the relationship was toxic, and I felt like a lot of that just had to do with maybe his lifestyle and everything, and the way he just didn't know better, the things that happened between us.
Interesting way to word it. What an interesting way to word it. Very cool.
Thank you.
When Ange when Ange started playing your stuff, the first thing I thought when I heard it is I kept recognizing a voice in there and thinking, like, this is such a good, you have a tonal quality that is very desirable in both the pop and the R&B world. You have a good low end and a good high end, and it all blends together into a tone. There's a little bit of scratch in there at the right times. And when she played this song, the first thing I thought was Ruth B. I don't know if you're familiar with Ruth B., but she does a song called Lost Boys.
Lost Boy.
This song, yes, this song is like, has the exact same impact, except it's a relationship song. Hers is more fantasy, but it has the exact same vibe, the same mood. You have the same wonderful voice. I would bet you that, like, the Disneys out there and the ones who go for voices like that, they're going to be chasing you like wild.
Thank you. That means so much. Wow. Thank you. I never would have thought that anybody would, like, talk about my voice like that. Like, my voice has always been the thing where I thought, you know what? Like, I came to terms with the fact that I will never sound like anybody else. The only reason why I never put myself out there was because I never sounded like anybody.
You sound like you.
Yeah.
I've come to terms with that. Thank you.
No, that's a good thing to come to terms with.
So thank you so much. That really means a lot.
We love you, Leyla.
I love you guys too. Thank you.
Can you tell me about your song Warning Signs?
Yeah, it's for the same person. Yeah. Yeah, so this was when I started to realize that things were starting to get a little bit toxic. They were, like I said, things were at the beginning, rainbows and butterflies. It was like we were 3,000 miles apart on two sides of the earth, and we thought we could make it work. And, at the beginning it was, like, it really did, but the lifestyles we had, from me not being allowed to have a device and always having to, sneak on some kind of device to try to talk to him, and him not appreciating that I'm kind of risking my butt over here for him, and he's, like, getting mad at me for no reasons, and all those things. Like, I just thought, things they didn't work out. But the moment I realized that, things were getting kind of, not dangerous, but in a way where I felt like I was dependent on him, I wrote that song kind of like so the line where it says, like, I hate how the butterflies are warning signs, like, because I will feel sometimes, like, I would feel butterflies when I knew, like, he texted, but sometimes it would be a fine line between butterflies, like, oh my god, he texted, or, what did he say now, like, so I wrote that song.
Funny how those butterflies can work both ways, huh?
Yeah, like, I don't like it. I really don't.
Yeah, well, they can be great and they can be scary.
Yeah, I've noticed that they had towards the end become scary. Like, you would think, like, after you're half a year in a relationship with somebody, that maybe you wouldn't necessarily get butterflies anymore if you realize that what's between you guys is dying out. And so you have to really think about it. Is it really butterflies, or are there warning signs, like, telling you, like, you know what?
Or moths. Butterflies or moths.
Yes, or bats. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play Warning Signs here. This one says it was produced by Matthew May.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Leyla, how can people find you? I know you have, like, hearts and squares or rectangles. So what is the best way for people to find you? Because it's really hard to put those in.
like on BandLab,
Yes.
my tag, Manu Melle, like Manu_Melle. Little fact, that means
That's her
songbird
ad name.
in Hawaiian.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a good one for you.
Thank you. I've been told. Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and play Morningside. Here we go.
Thank you.
Blinded by the truth and your lies, blinded by the light of your smile, touched by the pain hidden in your eyes, from putting all your feelings into denial, shaking from exhaustion, from the strain you put onto my heart. Tiptoeing, taking caution, before the splash it turns into another scar. Yeah, we go far back. There was so much chemistry. Don't pretend that you didn't have even the slightest feelings for me. Is this what love is? We stick together until one loses that shit. Is this what love's supposed to be? We said forever, then why do you keep wanting to leave? Is this what love feels like? But all the butterflies just one inside. Oh God, I'm so blind. Dancing under pressure, from not wanting to see you go. You can't even measure up to the weight I have to hold. Tired 'cause I don't get no sleep. Spend my nights fantasizing about the things that you never let me see, about the truth that you're always hiding. Is this what love is? We stick together until one loses that shit. Is this what love's supposed to be? We said forever, then why do you keep wanting to leave? Is this what love feels like? But all the butterflies just one inside. Oh God, I'm so blind. I see you coming, I feel a storm getting close. I know I should be running from what I fear the most, but instead I hold on tight, trying to get you to stay, at any cost, to any price, as long as we don't part our ways. Is this what love is? Stick together until one loses that shit. Is this what love's supposed to be? You said forever, then why do you keep wanting to leave? Is this what love feels like? But all the butterflies just one inside. Oh God, I'm so blind.
That was beautiful. I like the comment on there from Miss Q.
Yeah.
She said, "You melted chocolate on strawberries."
Ooh,
She's
that's a good
always
accomplishment.
so supportive.
That's a good accomplishment. You know, that's a great example of what I was talking about. Your voice is so big. You have a big voice. When you're singing, it is like full. You're low and like that song, the two different vocal parts that you were doing, complement both sides of that. You have low parts where you've got that bassy sound coming in, and then you've got these high little swoops that come in here and there and just blend them into each other. It's a great way to show your voice and both sides of what's good about it.
Thank you.
I
try.
You have the voice of an accomplished singer. You sound like an R&B singer who's been, doing it for 30, 40 years. It has that confidence and that sound in it. Don't lose that.
Thank you.
Keep
I will.
going.
Oh,
You're
I will.
definitely an artist that stands out on the lab.
Thank you so much.
Let me ask you a little bit about Hooked on You, because I seen you had a couple collaborators on this. I don't want to pronounce names wrong, so can you do the honors and tell me more?
Of course. So that's a song I'm very proud of. That song is the first, I think, song that I wrote for my newest boyfriend. His name is Kavika, so it's maybe the name that, you didn't want to pronounce. But yeah, the song actually, all the remarks in it, it's telling a true story. The first time I met him, he lives here, we know each other already, we were good friends. However, due to the circumstances and COVID and everything, we couldn't meet. And when I was going through bad times, the only thing we could do was Zoom call all the time. And so the first time that he met me, again in person, was in front of Panda Express. And that's when I said in the song, standing in front of pandas looking good like you do, because I hadn't remembered that he looked that good. So I kind of, I put those remarks. He was wearing a Coca-Cola shirt, black pants and black shoes, and I was describing how it made me feel. And the hug that we shared, it was long, and it was the first hug that I had in about 6 months, and it was exactly what I needed. And I really did. I felt like time stopped and everything. It was, those lyrics wrote themselves. I heard the beat, and I just started you could say freestyling to it. I was just singing my mind, and it was, I don't know, I left the third, okay, so I gave you the snippet, right? So the full song, he's supposed to come in the second verse. Third verse. I have a second verse, but that's not in the snippet. I'm confusing myself right now, I'm sorry. But yeah.
More to this song, you're hiding out on me?
I gave you the snippet because the other one wasn't finished yet. So I was like, oh man, we wanted to get him on the track, and, things have been busy and everything, so he never got to it, which hopefully I'll get the song out. But Lynn, she's doing the backing vocals.
It's always a work in progress. It's always
exactly.
a work in progress.
Slow progress.
Songs are surrendered, never finished.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to tease Tony. You're not supposed to tease me.
Sorry.
That's all right. As long as when it gets released, you let me know.
I will. I definitely will. I will let everyone know, because I'm so excited for that song, and I really hope he gets on it, because he has a voice of an angel and he doesn't like to accept it. So, yeah. Lynn is in the background. She's doing the backing vocals. Honestly, if you thought I had talent, you have not heard her. She blows my mind with the way she can mix and master, and the way she uses her voice. It's crazy. She blows my mind. She isn't my inspiration. I love that woman. She's amazing. I think her tag is It's Lynn Official on BandLab. So she's definitely, check her out. She's amazing. Yeah.
I will. All right. Here's Hooked on You.
Standing in front of pandas looking good like you do. Wearing your red Coca-Cola shirt, black pants and black shoes. You had your mask on, but I felt your presence by far. There wasn't much to say, but I knew what I had to do. Dreaming night and day of getting to hold you. It felt like time stopped the moment I was locked in your arms. Whenever you're moving closer, my heart starts to race. Place a kiss upon my cheek to watch the blood rush to my face. You wanna take it slow and I'm so up for the chase. Don't wanna miss a thing, there's so much to embrace. You got me hooked on you, babe. Yeah, you got me going insane. Yeah, you got me wanting more than just attention. Yeah, you got me hooked on you, babe. Yeah, you got me going insane. Yeah, you got me wanting more than just attention. Oh, babe.
There were a lot of people that want to hear that whole song.
Yes, I can't wait to release it.
I can't believe that just looking at that. And I was like, wow, you had 324 plays on that. Like, it's amazing.
I'm turning red over here.
Breathe, smile. These cheeks are going to hurt a little bit. But
I just checked while I was listening to make sure I was following Lynn, and it turns out I was already following her from a recommendation a few weeks ago. I've been following her at this point, so
yeah,
that's reinforcement. Yes.
Let me ask you about Only You. I see this was produced by Ray Sean.
Yes, so he's also
the first piece that you worked on with him, because he's very talented as well.
He is. I redid that song actually. It was at first, that was one of the 5th collabs I had ever made on BandLab, and it went trending in the first few days that I released it, and I was really proud of that song. But at that time, I hadn't known how to mix, master anything, so I kind of had to fix it because the backing vocals were louder than the frontal vocals, and I kind of had to fix that.
It takes a while to get comfortable with BandLab. I didn't do my first collab for almost 16 months before after I'd been on there, before I did my first collab. So it does take a while to get. I mean, I learned the DAWs and I learned all the knobs and things, but collabing with people and working with other tracks, that's a slow process.
Well, for me, I was completely different. I came on the lab and looked at it as a huge playground, and I just started singing and writing and just having fun, and it was like buttons everywhere. What's this one sound like? And what's that one sound like,
Yeah.
So, nope.
It helps when you're Angified.
That's right.
When you're Angified, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Being Angified is definitely a lot easier than being Angifried. Indeed.
Yeah. That song.
Where did this song Only You come from?
It, so I think I said it earlier. I do struggle with depressions. And so sometimes there will be times where I feel like nobody's listening. Like I'm alone and everywhere. I have problems everywhere. Like every day is just a calamity. And so I sat down. Initially, the second verse I think was supposed to be rapped, but I'm not so comfortable with rapping yet. So I'm still working on that, but I sang it kind of like melodic.
I can't wait to hear when you're trying it.
Oh God,
it's going to be an interesting one.
That's
a good exercise. Sure. It's a good vocal exercise. I would recommend every singer try it, regardless of whether they want to or not. It's a good exercise. It helps teach you percussive vocals. It helps teach you other aspects of singing that you wouldn't normally get in the R&B and the pop.
Right. Yeah. So the song, I think the lyrics are rather self-explanatory. The title in itself too. That's when I started realizing that being dependent on people wasn't maybe the best thing to do, because I tend to depend on people a lot. And you have to, I kept telling myself to that time when I wrote the song, I need to stop doing that. I need to cut off all old strings and start new. And I need to just notice, I have to have respect for myself and trust myself and not trust others in order for me to feel comfortable in my body. And so
it's finding that healthy balance. Finding that healthy balance between dependence and independence.
Right.
Because neither is great all by themselves. But if you can find that happy balance between them, dependence on something dependable is wonderful. And independence is always a great security. Knowing you're comfortable in your own skin means that you can now own it.
Yes. Yeah. So that was that song.
Only You.
This is the story of a quiet girl who carries the weight of the world. but no one believes in her. And she's crazy but polite, always trying to do things right, but everyone makes her feel like she's wrong. So she stays up late at night, ready to put up a fight by writing song for song, hoping someday, in some way, she will find a way to accomplish her mission. But this world will never change. People don't understand if they don't listen. It's only you in this world. Yeah, I've never been alone, but that doesn't mean that it don't get lonely. It's only you in this world. So focus on yourself. You're your one and only. It's only you. Oh, only you. I've never felt so lonely, but I've never been alone. Although my friends are right beside me, sadly they won't ever know that I purposely don't cry, cause my pride is all I own. It's the only thing no one can take or break, it's in my bones. I've never felt so jaded, feeling faded all the time. Swear that I'm not faking, trust me, I'm just trying to find another maverick or a miracle. Left everything behind for a distant dream that I've been chasing my entire life. Don't know one's ever believed in me. I'm still working hard, right until my fingers bleed, singing songs and spitting bars. Throw my guts out to the world, show them my fragile paper heart, tell them about all the shit that I've been through, the tale to every scar. Make my life look like a fantasy, make believe, but they don't see. It's like a vanity, my family pushing me to vanity. I'm losing all my sanity. Oh, it's only you in this world. Yeah, I've never been alone, but that doesn't mean that it don't get lonely. It's only you in this world. So focus on yourself, you're your one and only. It's only you. Oh, only you. I'm screaming, but nobody hears me. I'm drowning under the waves. The carpet's always getting pulled from beneath me. In the moment I look up, my world is going down in flames. But one day I will make a change. They will hear my voice, they will know my name. It's only you in this world. It's only you.
I know music has been my medicine for a long, long, long time. How does it feel to actually even reach out and paint pictures and touch people over on the other side of the world?
Honestly, it's a feeling I can't describe. It's like knowing, for one, that people are listening that close, that people are not only listening to the lyrics, but, you know, that they're receiving the emotion that I portray in the song. It means a lot to me that people are actually, like, reading the subtitles, you know, that they're paying attention. Like, the biggest struggle that I've ever had in my life was not being heard. I was always, like I said, the quiet girl. And, you know, the person in the background, the person who would do everything for you if you asked them to, or even if you didn't ask them to, would never receive anything back. Just that person you would never see. And now knowing that I'm getting so much attention on BandLab, and knowing that I'm, like, that I can reach out to those people who I used to be, and to be able to tell them, you know, like, through my lyrics without actually touching them, like that I you know, I don't know how to explain that. It's weird, but it's like it even gives me comfort knowing that I'm comforting somebody else. It's
You're
definitely
changing the world, Leyla.
I actually understand. I understand exactly what you mean.
okay.
And the funny thing is that just at its simplest, your emotion is so strong in your performance that even beyond the words, anybody listening who's feels the emotion that you're doing there. The way that you sing your notes and go from that mid to those high little dances, I felt that just in the sound.
Oh.
When you dig deeper and you go into the words and you connect like what you're expressing, it just makes that whole experience that much more powerful.
And then
it's
your background.
Not a surprise
chills.
It's not a surprise you're coming from Hawaii. You're like a little sound volcano.
That was a nice one. Thank you.
Really, really though. That's and that one was a good example of it because it was just like a little volcano waiting to erupt.
Thank you.
You kept throwing in those little high parts that were. It was almost like you were a guitar with your voice, and then the little backing tracks would tail over it. Just tail behind it, and it was nicely put together.
Thank you so much.
Now, Leyla, before we go to this last song, I have a question for you. Is there any other place that people can find you besides BandLab at this point?
Yes. So I do have an Instagram. However, it is a private account. But my tag, I believe, would be musicalbean_02. That used to be my tag on BandLab too. Musical being. That was always my thing. Musical being.
You are a musical being. Take it from me.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think Instagram would be the only thing. Well, my mom will be making an account for me on Instagram, an open one for my music under hers. I will announce that on BandLab once it's made, but for now I have a private account. On Instagram.
And that's a better way to handle it. Handle it responsibly. Establish those places for your music and your sound, and that way that's what those are for, and to spread this music in all platforms.
Right. Yes.
All right.
I do have a Spotify. What's the other one? SoundCloud. It's attached to my my bio though. I can't remember my tag there.
Yeah, BandLab now has those. BandLab has those little additional platforms that you can tie, which I love that they're focusing on that, because all these platforms need to connect with each other, so that way artists who write once and put out in many places, this makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it responsibly like this, eventually you should be everywhere all the time.
Yes. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Here's
hopefully,
the question
definitely.
For you. Where do you see yourself going in the future? What are your dreams? Because you're very talented, so.
Thank you. Since I was really, when I started singing, I always wanted to be a pop star. Like my first inspiration besides Ariel was Hannah Montana. I loved that person so much. Before I noticed she was two people.
I love that show.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, my nieces used to watch it. I was babysitting them. They were watching that, so it was about music, and I was doing my job.
Right. Yeah, she was my first inspiration besides Ariel. I wanted to be like her. Every Halloween, I was her. Actually, I put on a blonde wig and glittery, tacky everything, and I pretended to be her. Walked around with a big microphone, and even when I knew or found out she was Miley Cyrus, like her song "The Climb" touched me the most. That's when I started opening with my vocals, because "The Climb" was a song that I listened to after losing my dad, and that song really helped me get through things. So it was yeah, I think in a few years I could definitely see myself maybe sharing my music with the world a little bit more than now. Maybe singing in public. I definitely want to go to college and study music, like music production, maybe. But yeah.
Oh, you're going to start learning music production if you keep in touch with Ange. I will help you with music production any way that you want.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
It starts with you. Anything they're going to teach you is they're going to teach you how to do it for yourself. So might as well start there.
Right.
If you could give a piece of advice out there, what would it be?
Advice pertaining to
music, to how to express yourself the way that you do.
I think
how music has helped you.
That's a nice way to put it. I think the moment I started 2 o'clock. Sorry. So the moment I realized that, or the moment I started putting my all into my music is the moment I realized that it's okay to be me, that I didn't have to be anybody else. So I think the main point of advice I would give is it's okay to be different. It's okay to sound the way you do, to write the way you do. It just, like, spill your heart on that beat. It doesn't matter, there's always space for improvement, and wherever you feel like it's needed, put it in there. But like, what you have going for yourself, just, even if you think you can't sing, there will be others that will think differently of you. I thought I couldn't sing, and the moment I started Band Lab, apparently everybody loves my voice, and that was crazy for me. So yeah,
everybody else thinks you can sing, and once you learn that lesson, you realize that you really do have a voice.
Exactly. So I think just giving yourself a chance, putting yourself out there, and be you unapologetically. I can't talk.
It's easier to sing. It's easier to sing than talk. This talking thing is overrated.
Trying to Angified her tone.
Oh Lord, I'm so red.
So Leyla, how about this last piece, Don't Know How? Can you tell me more about that? Because this is just you.
Anyway, so Don't Know How was one of the most sensitive songs I think I had ever written and recorded and published, of course. That song, I wrote it and published it in the same day, I wrote it the day before I published it. I recorded it the same day I published it. It means a lot to me. Basically, I put my whole life starting at where my life kind of went downhill. I lived a perfect little life, like 2 parents, 2 little siblings, never had to worry about anything. I had everything made for me. And the moment I lost my dad, it changed a lot of things. And I had to learn how to be the older sibling. I had to learn how to be not the adult, but just the oldest one around when my mom wasn't around. And it was really hard to kind of adjust to the new lifestyle we had. We lived in Japan at the time, and we moved to Germany, which to me, it's not a place I belong. I don't see myself ever going there again, at least not to live. It changed me, in so many ways. And the people there, like, they're not really open to diversity. So it was a really long time coming, and the things that happened, like, I think my dad passing away in 2012 was the first thing that started everything. Like until then, I hadn't known really what it means to lose something or to someone, and that was kind of the beginning of the domino effect. And I started losing things everywhere, and I felt like my life was just, I don't know, a big catastrophe. So Don't Know How is just that moment when I was kind of on the verge of a breakdown, and I felt like I had to write a song now. And I spilled my heart onto it. I think I might have put a little bit too much on there. The second verse, I kind of want to change that before I put that into any other platforms, because it tells a lot about things that I don't maybe want everybody knowing. So I kind of yeah. But that song, it's
Well,
I tested my vocal
some of
range
those
on that.
things need to get massaged over time. Some of those things get massaged over time. A catastrophe is really just a test for me.
That's true. It's very true. Yeah.
Well, I do have to say, I don't know Hawaiian, but I did learn from Lilo Stitch. So, Ohana.
Yeah. It's family.
And I love that cartoon.
I do too. I love that cartoon.
Yeah,
I'm going to
one of
go
my
ahead and
favorite
I'm going
Disney
to
ones.
share your song here, Don't Know How.
Okay.
Here we go. Well, you're
I got the tingles.
Huh?
Goosebumps.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see where you go in the future.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Only
Leyla,
up.
thank you so much
Only
for
up.
joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
Oh, thank you for letting us share you and meet you. This was great. We'll have to do it again.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you all had fun. Follow Leyla and have a great night.
Oh, definitely
Toodles.
follow Leyla. Night, everyone.
Bye.